Hi guys, and welcome to another reaction video to an event. This is the June 2nd 2022 state of play. So as we start off, this is me just talking about what I've done and what I experienced. So this is the first one that starts up. This is for a scheduled date of 2023, the 24th of the 3rd 2023. This is going to be for Resident Evil by Capcom. It is the new Resident Evil 4 remake, and I watched this last night when it was happening, and I rewatched it again, and this is the third time I'm watching it, just because I like to absorb and take in all the information available. Now, all Sony's state of plays aren't gonna hit every single check mark for every single person. I know that, but I feel like of late Sony has just missed the mark entirely when it comes to the tempo of their state of plays. They're just it peaks and crests really weirdly in the way that they try to organize the information that they drop. Now, I love Resident Evil. I feel like the Resident Evil franchise with Village and Biohazard really did turn a corner to get away from the lower quality of Resident Evil games that they had made in the past. And I know that Resident Evil 4 is one of the most loved ones of all the fans and stuff like that. I never really was a big fan of Resident Evil 4. I didn't think it was as good as some of the others, but there is a bit of a focus on this state of play for VR, and I get that. VR is something that people like. I know that I can't experience VR because it makes me severely motion sick, and I feel like if they do add stuff to any games with VR like this, it will be cool. It means that people who love VR will get to experience something pretty cool, and they get to experience something that they'll enjoy. I'm just going to turn on the captions so you guys can still see those. They are a bit small, but I don't know why. And it's one of those. I love Resident Evil. Resident Evil Village was one of those games that blew me away with how good it was. It made me jump. It made me connect with the characters. I thought it was really, really good. And I feel like PlayStation are in this instance trying to shoehorn as much VR in as possible because they're trying to sell units. Don't get me wrong, I know that the PlayStation VR has done well in the past. It's just, it doesn't really fit my personal taste. I can't play it, so I don't really see a point to it. I would love to have seen them do a dedicated state of play all around VR, because if they're gonna focus, if they want to focus on that, then they should be able to make it a focus of a whole state of play. And I feel like that would be better for a lot of people, in my opinion, that they could make a VR centric state of play and go into more detail on what they have in development and stuff like that for the game, because then they can have each state of play focus on what it needs to focus on, you know, the games that are tailored to that specific type of event. Having this one feel like it's a shoehorning VR in right at the beginning, say, oh guys, look, we got this, but then we're gonna get onto the real stuff. It kind of feels like a bit of a watered down experience. Don't get me wrong, I know that that's my opinion, and I have a difference of opinion to everyone else. You know, it's one of those. I know that what I feel could be completely different to everyone else. Now, I will skip through some of these and speed it up a little bit and jump through so you can see what each one is. This is for the new the new Walking Dead game, Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. Again, it's a VR game. It feels, quality doesn't look like it's there, but then again, VR games aren't always going to be on the visual quality standard of what we expect, because they're focused on a different technical aspect, so they have to work a lot more different in the way they have to allocate resources. I get that. This is just, it's one of those that doesn't really jump out to me, and it doesn't feel like it's worth mentioning. It's just one of those. That's just my opinion. I know that you guys will have a difference of opinion if you are a fan of VR and you play VR, but please sound off in the comments if you have a difference of opinion. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Bringing VR into it is always going to be something for certain people. It's just not for me. So we got another VR experience, and this one is for Horizon such and such. It's called Call of the Mountains. It looks pretty. It doesn't look as high a quality as Zero Dawn or Forbidden West, but it does look like they've done a good job with it, and they've created a unique story for it, and it does seem to tell an emotive story. And I'd love to watch people play it. I just can't play it myself. So I'm gonna skip through this because I don't feel like this one needs really talking about. It's just Horizon VR. It's got its own story, and it just seems, again, VR is being shoehorned into different games. That's just my opinion. This is Ben McCaw, who talks about the Call of the Mountain, and he announces the fact that Forbidden West is getting an update, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna skip forward to that. There you go. So the new update is a performance mode, improved visual fidelity, which is good. A transmog system to switch the looks. You're able to redistribute the skills. We're adding an ultra hard difficulty and new game plus. With replay it with end game gear and new weapons and trophies, which is always good. I think that's pretty cool, and adding extra stuff is always a good thing, and especially if it's free. And they'll have more information at a later event, and you can check it all out on the blog. And please stay tuned for and they've got this announcement, which I feel is a pretty cool one for those who are PC gamers. Insomniac Games nixes Marvel, you guessed it, it's Spider-Man coming to PC, and it's the remastered version that they did for the PlayStation 5 with the different face model, and it looks like it runs better and stuff like that. And I feel like they've only done this one version of it because they're just trying to cash in. If they're gonna make Spider-Man on PC, why haven't they done Miles Morales as well? Because they want to just get more money. They should have done both of them. That's just Spider-Man, the first one, not Miles Morales. And Miles Morales is a good story. It's just not worth the money that it cost when it first released. Now this is a game that I was very interested in. Been interested in this for quite a while. This is a game called Stray by Blue 12 and Annapurna Interactive. I really do like the look of this game because you're playing this little kitty, and the little tabby that is on the screen there actually looks a lot like my cat. You guys have seen photos of him on Instagram and stuff like that, and being able to play as a little kitty cat and to explore and to find out more about this world really has me intrigued. And the fact that this is getting an announcement and the cool things that they announced in this video was pretty interesting. They've announced that the game is getting a release date of July, and if you are on the PlayStation Extra or Premium, it is tied into the service and will release on day one, which is pretty cool because I feel like this game then has a lot to offer. and we'll probably get a lot of more people involved in it and to check it out. And I feel that doing that, they've probably got a lot of sales on their hands, and I feel like this is going to do really well. Very much looking forward to this, and playing this will be something I will probably end up doing on stream. It is a game that I am very much looking forward to. You're going to be able to find out more about this in July, and we'll be able to play it then, and it'll be on the extra and premium thing that they're doing, so you'll be able to get it there, which is pretty cool. And then the next one is, don't get me wrong, I feel like the state of play does offer some good things and some bad things, and it's not really what I was expecting from a state of play.
Take a look outside.
They don't really show a lot of things that feel like they are pushing the boat out with what they've got. I feel like this state of play is just like a placeholder to try and compete with what Sony have to try and get out there before Xbox have their event. So they were scrambled about, grabbed whatever they could, and they showed us some stuff. Now this is Callisto Protocol, and this game makes me think of Dead Space by the monster design, and, or I would say creature design, and the way that they look malformed, and it looks very interesting. I feel like there is going to be a lot of people who like their horror games playing this one. This one has me intrigued, but I wouldn't say I'll be enjoying it if I do play it, you know, because I get too engrossed in the soundtrack of a game, and that is the thing that will get me really freaked out, is that soundtrack. And this has a really good soundtrack by the looks of it. I've done a little bit of digging on the information on this, and the people that they've got working on the music soundtrack for this, some really good horror based music composers working on this one. Now this one is a bit of a weird one. It's in the comic book cell shaded design, and I feel like it's going to be a weird one, because the way that they've done this one is it's this weird rollerblade or roller skating shooter game, and I don't know how I feel about it. It looks weird. It looks like it's just an indie that's trying to cash in on something. I just don't know what it is. It's really weird. Like I get Tony Hawk's vibes with the way that it's like warehouses, and there's alternative sports in there, and then you've got the death bowls, and I feel like it's a weird one, and I don't know how I feel about it, you know. Don't get me wrong, I feel like it could be interesting, but it's still a weird one. So I feel like there is something there, but not sure. This one looks pretty good. This is Evernights. Now, I love my anime games, and I do like the look of this one. It looks very interesting. I feel like it could be quite fun to play. I get like a Dark Soul vibe with the boss fights and like the quick time QTE stuff that pops up on the screen, but I feel like there could be like a Dark Souls vibe with the fighting mechanics between the bad guys. Like you have to guess their patterns and stuff like that. But I get some Blackrock shooter vibes from the black haired girl with the pigtails, and it does look interesting, but it's an JRPG action game with a dating mechanic, so it's a bit of a weird one. And I do like the look of it, and I would love to get hold of a copy of the game or review for the channel, because it does seem very interesting. But that trailer doesn't tell you anything, so I am curious. But an early 2023 release, we'll probably find out more at the Game Awards and something like that. So it'll be one to keep your eye on, I feel. And we're back to Capcom now, and this one is for Street Fighter. Now, I like my fighting games just as much as anyone else, but I feel like this one is a bit weird. They've basically tried to create like an open world kind of hub thing where you can go around and interact with people, and it looks cool, but I'm gonna skip through this. It does look good, but it looks really flashed out and really polished, and it looks really nice. But I don't know, I feel like Capcom doesn't have a good grasp on what this game is trying to be yet. I need to know more, because I feel like there's something there, but I don't actually know. So we're going to skip forward a bit, and this is Tunic. This one is already out on Xbox, and it's set for a September 27th release. The game's already out, so it's kind of like a non-mover for me. You can play it on your Xbox already on Game Pass, and then this is Seasons. They announced this a while back, and it looks a bit weird. Seasons of the Future, autumn 2022. Now, this is the one that really got me excited. As you guys know, big Final Fantasy fan. I work with Square Enix because I am a Square Enix influencer partner, whatever you want to call it. And I am very much interested in this one because big Final Fantasy fan. Hey guys, so I have to re-record this part because we had something weird go on the audio, and so basically this is my reaction to the Final Fantasy 16 announcement. I love this franchise. I talk about it, I gush over it for a very long time, and I feel like the culmination of what is being learned in Final Fantasy 16 is basically everything that they've learned from Final Fantasy 7 Remake and all the other previous games. They've got some really good summons in this one. From the looks of it, you've got Garuda, you've got Titan, you've got Bahamut, you've got Ifrit, you've got Rama. They do actually announce all of them in the video, and I think that that's pretty cool. And personally, I feel like they've got a lot to offer with this game, and the art style, the character designs, the gameplay looks very interesting, and we're learning more about the game as we go. And this is the thing for me. I have played every Final Fantasy game, and I'm very much interested in knowing how they're approaching this one, because I know that they have taken a step away from making their games feel like the old style, which is the ATB, Active Time Battle, for those who don't know what that is. But I know that there are some fans out there who have been complaining that Final Fantasy feels like it's taken a change and isn't an RPG anymore. It's more of a action RPG. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I feel like with evolution for the franchise, it's kind of mandatory, because if you don't evolve, you get lost and you could stagnate. And I feel like this is a good step in the right direction. It feels like they've got a good plan, and they've created some really good engines. We've seen them in Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and it does show that they have got a lot of development in this engine that they're now using. And I like the look of this game. I'm very much interested in where they're taking the story and what it has to offer. I have been a big fan for this franchise for a very long time. I hope that this year we see more news about Final Fantasy VII Remake. We've got this one, and the release date that this announcement confirms is a 2023 release date. So we know that we're going to be getting this one summer of 2023. Now, that's not a bad thing. A good game that is released is key. They have to release a good game. If they don't, then they will get slammed for it. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think, and please sound off in the comments. Like, comment, share, and all that stuff. It really does help the channel. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. That's the end of the state of play. It was only like 28 minutes long, but I just thought I'd like cut it down and I'd talk about the best parts. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.